Hello, greetings to you from here, the city of Lancaster. My name is Mwat, and I'm delighted to welcome you to another program, another episode of program Let's Talk Missions. I'm really delighted today because the winter is going gradually, so we are able to, you know, enjoy some sunshine and good weather without so much cold. I am really delighted today, especially to appreciate those of you who have made comments, who have reached out personally, who are still reaching out to tell me how much you are enjoying this program. I really want to say thank you, thank you, thank you, and thank you for you who said you enjoy the smile. You are always happy when you see the program. I am very grateful for that. It does not mean that I am not sad or that I am always this happy all the time. In fact, I have a friend who I call my pastor. He knows who I'm talking about if he's listening today. He always smiles. He's always smiling. So, this one is to you, my brother. I appreciate that so very much. Thank you for that. I just try that when I do what I enjoy, I do it with the joy that I feel within, and try my best possible to see that I let you know exactly how it's going on in my mind. So, but regardless, like I always say on this program, as long as you are alive, you have every reason to be grateful. As long as you are alive, you should know that there is hope. So if there is hope, why waste time being sad? Moments of sadness will come, of course, but then that doesn't mean we should dwell in that place of sadness. We should always strive to that place of finding fulfillment, that place of finding joy, that place of finding satisfaction and seeking more of God, understanding more of what God wants, what God wills, what God intends for us at that time. So I'm really delighted to be here today to, like I always say, talk about something, create a cause for conversation, controversy or affirmation or questions or whatsoever it is that relates to mission as relates to how we live, so that you and I can be able to have meaningful dialogue, meaningful conversation, and then continue to see how we spur each other onto what we have been, what we are on earth here to do. That's what we're all trying to figure out. So I hope you're having a good day. I hope you're having a good time at the time you're listening to me. If you are not, remember being alive is worth much more than we realize. So seek all that you can, find positive aspects of your being alive and celebrate that while you're still alive. Today, I would love to just talk, like I always say, briefly about a point which has been on my mind lately, which is overlooking the the things we call insignificant, the little things. Looking at some things and some details and just overlooking them. When we pay attention to those tiny things, they actually come around to mean a significant impact in our lives or in the life of other people. Some of the things that we think are insignificant, some of the things that we feel are not really very important. It could be a potential in you, which people have been saying, hey, I think you have this potential, and you do not see it as something that is important. Or it could be uh, something in someone that you see and you think it's not important, that you tell them something that is not very good, that is not important, you feel is not important for you to create or make them aware of, and then you just let them continue to wallow in their suffering, and ends up becoming a problem for them. So tiny things. And get me right, I am not saying go and seek for split hairs over issues, kind of go details about issues that does not really require so much details about, you know, like trying to split hair over issues that really do not help you grow or does not help you build somebody else or build yourself. I am, like I have said from the beginning of this program, the Bible is our base. That is where I'll always come from. That is where I'll always seek to create questions or create issues that we can be able to talk about. So, in today's talk, I just want to call attention to something that I have often always overlooked also. I have tried that a recent assignment called my attention to this fact that when you have something huge, it is easy, or when you have somebody big, somebody significant, when there is a president in the room, for instance, when there is a president in the room, it is very easy to overlook the people who serve tea. Nobody mentions them, you know, nobody says anything about the people who ensure that the room is proper, the seat is where it's supposed to be, the mic is working, the sound systems are all right. People don't really give attention to that. But those little things end up making the big things very important. And today, my passage is in Genesis, the story of Joseph. I'm going to take time to read, but just to shed light on that, on a general overview, it is easy for you to read the story of Abraham and forget about his servant who went and helped Isaac get a wife, for instance. Or read the story of Isaac and forget about, those details, those people, nameless people who made impact. And today I'm just trying to look at down to Jacob's children, Joseph, and someone who really wasn't doesn't seem to be significant in the story, but just reflect on that person and see what can be done. And I'm surprised at the thing that I was able to find just by reflecting on the forgotten or the voiceless characters in the life or in the story of the big characters. I'll be reading Genesis chapter 37, verse 14. Uh, yes, begin from verse 14. So he said to him, now he here is Jacob, and the him is Joseph. Because I'm saying this to explain, because this is coming just after Joseph has had his dream and shared with his parents and his fathers, like, so you mean we're going to bow to you, And so Jacob said to Joseph, go and see if all is well with your brothers and with the flocks, and bring word back to me. So Joseph is supposed to be the eyes of his father, and he's supposed to bring back word to his father. Then he sent him off from the valley of Hebron. When Joseph arrived at Shechem, a man found him. I'm reading from the New International Version. I'm very sorry. So when he arrived at Shechem, a man found him wandering in the fields and asked him, what are you looking for? He replied, I'm looking for my brothers. Can you tell me where they are grazing their flocks? They have moved on from here, the man answered. I heard them say, let's go to Dothan. So Joseph went after his brothers and found them near Dothan. But they saw him in a distance, and before he reached them, they plotted to kill him. Uh, this is the word of the Lord. So, to just retell the story, which I enjoy to do, um, here's a young boy. Okay, picture the scenario. Here's a young fellow who was probably in his early teens, who was loved by his father. You remember this fact? His father loved him so much. So probably he might have been a spoiled, you know, it's not as hardworking as his older brothers, because he must not have been probably not as active or as strong as his younger brothers. He was on a journey. to see his brothers, to find out how they are doing and bring reports back to his father. So that's an indication also that he might not be involved in a lot of activities and has may not actually be so experienced. Okay, what else? He was carrying a supply. He must have been carrying something to take to them since he wants to see how they are doing. So here is a young boy, not very strong. Another fact, he was wearing his special robe. Check out mine. He was wearing his special robe that his father made for him at that time to go see his brother. Because remember, Joseph had a very special coat. Could it be compared to the one of Dolly Parton, which says, "A coat of many colors"? I don't know. I'm just saying, but she loved her coat of many colors, which was made out of rags, but she was so proud of it. And Joseph here had his own coat that his father bought for him, which is very special. So, and I'm wearing a very special, not coat, but outfit. So he was wearing that coat. Now this is a kid who looked rich, expensively dressed, carrying provision on his shoulder or however it was that they carried stuff back then, and looking young and then lost. I'm trying to look at this scenario from the eye of the man who found Joseph. Whatever version of the Bible you will read, whatever translation of those of the Bible you will read, you will find out that the man found Joseph. So the man saw Joseph from far, must have seen Joseph and realized that boy is lost. Probably he observed him go back and forth here and there and realized, hey, this fellow is lost. Because he, as the man, is experienced, probably lives around that area, knows if you're going here, then you should be heading there. If you're going to Shechem, you should be heading there. If you're going to Dothan, you're heading there. If you're going to the desert and there is nothing on this side, then you should be going here. And he must have seen Joseph has gone round and round and round and round. And Joseph must have appeared to have been a perfect prey. Here's a lost young boy. How much is that coat if I should get it? Go and sell it. And look at the provision he's carrying. And even look at the boy, very prime. I can sell him as a slave. All do you are you seeing what I'm trying to picture? This is looking at it from the perspective of somebody who was not even named. But look at the scenario that was presented as a very vulnerable prey before him. But what did that nameless man do? Who he only appeared once in the Bible, said one sentence, and that was all about him. Now, this man reached out to Joseph. He found Joseph. He grabbed Joseph. Well, not grabbed. He reached out to Joseph. What do you think would be on Joseph's mind when he sees someone, a man, not a boy, not a young man, a man who must have been experienced, older, stronger than Joseph is or was at that time? Maybe Joseph would have said, "Oh, thank God somebody found me." Do you think that would have been appropriate? Or do you think Joseph would have been, "Oh my God, I pray this person doesn't take advantage of me"? We never know really what went on in the mind of Joseph at that time. But this man approached Joseph either ways and said to Joseph, "Hey, where are you headed? I observed that you are lost." Joseph did not deny that he was lost. Joseph spoke like any naive young person would. "Please, I'm trying to find my brothers. Do you know where they are?" Well, it's the narration of the Bible where it's not probably it's not exactly what they say. It's just trying to retell what happened. But I'm sure Joseph would have, you know, confided, "Oh well, this is who I am. I'm just lost, just like you found me. I'm lost. I really don't know where to go. I'm trying to find my brothers." And I really could do with some help right now finding them. Now, this person who did not take advantage of Joseph reached out to Joseph, create a conversation, and had useful information to give to Joseph. Oh, your brothers, are they the 11 guys working together? Or maybe 10 because the youngest might be at home. So maybe 10 of them with this flock. Yeah, yeah, those are my brothers. Oh, yeah, I saw them around. I saw them around and they said they were heading to Dothan. This person knew what was going on in his environment. He knew who was going, he knew who was coming, he had his eye on what was happening. He had reliable information and he provided it out to Joseph when he asked. And then he pointed him in the right direction. He said, they are headed. And yes, Joseph followed that direction and found his brothers. What credit is given to that man? What credit? What else is spoken about him? Nothing. And that was it. It's so easy to read the story and bypass this very huge and significant thing that this man has done. And isn't that what we are called to do? To be our brother's keepers? Isn't that who we are called to be? To care for those who are lost, those who are trying to find their way? Are we supposed to take advantage of those who are vulnerable? Are we not supposed to reach out to those who are helpless and provide support for them when they need it? This nameless person who had just one sentence demonstrates for us here the Good Samaritan prototype. This person here demonstrates to us what mission is about. Reach out to anybody who is lost, somebody who is seeking help. Do not take advantage of them like some so called men of God would. Take advantage of people who do not understand what scripture is. Lie to them to get money from them. This man who doesn't have a name in the Bible, who doesn't even say much in the Bible, shows to us that he is his brother's keeper. Took somebody who was lost, who was prey, who anybody would have taken advantage of, and called him and said, and found him. Didn't take Joseph to himself, didn't claim Joseph as his own, didn't claim Joseph's property, didn't claim Joseph's coat, or didn't even misguide Joseph, but provided Joseph with the right information because that man was attentive to what was happening around him. He knew what was going on. He was very conversant with news. He knew his current affairs. He knew things that were happening in his surrounding. How much are we paying attention to our surrounding? Are we so heavenly minded that we do not know what is going on around us? Are we so heavenly focused, so holy, so righteous that we do not even know what the news is saying? That we do not know what is happening in our own neighborhood? That we do not know who is sick? That we do not know who is hungry? That we do not know who needs a coat? That we do not know who needs supply? Can you see how a nameless person is challenging the core of what the gospel is? Paying attention to those insignificant things can result in very significant impacts. This person cared for his neighbor, found somebody who was lost, had information, and pointed them in the right direction. Now, what is missions? What is our responsibility? It is not to point people to ourselves. It is not, hey, I am super, I am macho, I am the man of God, or I know this, or I know that. It is about pointing everybody who asks, everybody who comes to us, point that person in the direction of the right information. Point them to Jesus, who is the author and finisher of our faith. That is our responsibility. And this lesson is coming from a nameless man in the Bible. You see, when you pay attention to those little things in the life of those around you, like saying hello, just saying hello can go a long way to break the ice or the bridge that separates you from somebody who really needs help. Giving out a helping hand. Some people have made it their business to dupe others, but you don't have to relent in doing good because at the right time you will reap the harvest of what is good, of what you be doing. You do not need to have a huge pulpit to make a difference. You do not need to have a large followership or a big congregation to make a difference. Sometimes in this program, we've talked about who needs a pulpit to do ministry. Your role and my role, as is shown from this insignificant person in the whole story, who is hardly preached upon, who people don't even talk about much. People talk about Joseph, people talk about, his brothers and all of that. But people don't really narrate the story of Joseph from the eyes of this stranger. So it's up to you, it's up to me to pay attention to the little things that are said or things that are not even said. And when you pay attention to that, being sensitive to people, to yourself, you will be able to create impact that would outlive you. Impact that will go a long way, that will impact somebody's life significantly beyond your understanding, beyond your imagination. I always say I will talk a little and then I end up talking for almost 20 minutes. So I think I will leave it open to for questions, for contributions, for comment. What do you think about this? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you think this person is really a prototype for what mission is? Do you think just share your thoughts, or maybe on a different issue which you want us to talk? The name of the program is Let's Talk Missions. So we just want to talk, create issues and subjects to talk about as it relates to mission. So thank you very much for your attentiveness. I am grateful and I hope that you will continue to enjoy the rest of your day and the rest of your week and seek to, to be positive. Discover those tiny things that are lying around, those tiny potentials in us or in others, and just spark it. And you never know how much impact you can make in the life of others. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful week till I come your way, same time, hopefully next week, with another engaging topic. God's blessings.